Over time, I have realized that you don't accidentally end up with a healthy money story. You decide to change it yourself and you consciously work towards that. So today, I am talking to you about why I'm actively changing my money story. Hello and welcome to Ademisola. This is a series that we're running. It's called The Healthy Rambler. Healthy? The Wealthy Rambler. But health is wealth anyway, so maybe they're almost the same. But yeah, welcome to my channel. I did decide that rather than changing the name of the channel to The Wealthy Rambler, we'll just leave it at Ademisola and then create like a playlist for this because a lot is coming in the future, in years to come. So it's just better for my ecosystem. And if you're new here, this is my video channel where I am actively documenting my journey to wealth, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally as well. Because health, okay, there's a reason why I keep calling wealth and health, but health is wealth. And so there's one thing I've learned as well, and is that money is not just it's not just about money, it's not just about paper. It's about the beliefs, it's about habits, it's about your identity. And for the longest time, yeah, my money story was shaped by fear, it was shaped by delay, it was shaped by scarcity. When I say scarcity, it doesn't mean the physical scarcity, it means making decisions from a scarcity mindset. And I'll give you a story. It doesn't necessarily mean that because there was a time when I had my coaching business, my business coaching. I'll be like, I don't have a scarcity mindset, so I can afford this course, and I'll just go and overindulge and apply or pay for things that I supposedly cannot afford, right? Now, there's a caveat there because there needs to be a balance, isn't it? And for the longest time, my own personal money story was shaped by fear, was shaped by delay, was shaped by a very deep scarcity mindset, right? Than being very intentional. You have to be very intentional. And that's one of the reasons why I have created this, well, not channel, this episode, and I'm talking about the whole being a wealthy rambler, why I have decided to call myself the wealthy rambler and talk about that. Because for us to grow wealth, it's not just about praying about it or praying our way to it. We have to be very, very intentional. I am on that intentional journey, and so I want all of us, as you watch, my journey, let's get intentional together. So let's talk about my old money story. This is not going to be your typical, oh, I grew up in, deep scarcity. I came from a place of, like terrible money stories where my parents had bad money habits. No, it's not that. As a matter of fact, and so basically, if that's your story, I mean, it's fine, it's your story. I'm just saying that it's not my story. I grew up I can't say I grew up rich, but we had, you know, we had, now I understand what that's called. It's called cashless abundance. School fees was paid. We went to good schools, they gave us, they did the best with what they had, my parents. And so I'm grateful for that. So that's not necessarily my story. My own story is as I grew up, and at some point I found myself, I was like, yes, I need to close my property sourcing business because I was up and about like every day, traveling from pillar to post, like all over the country, sourcing properties, viewing properties for investors. And I was like, one day I need to, be there for my babies. When I start having babies, I need to be there for them. So I need to, find something that would buy me back freedom of my time. And it was a business I was going to do. And so I started coaching, like business coach. I was like, okay, let me show people how to, grow their businesses. And so I started that, and I was deep into that Instagram where people launch courses, they launch their programs, and they're like, I made 100K in one day. I made this. I was really deep into that. I love to see people's numbers, right? And so I made up my mind that I am going to make 1 million in like 12 months. True story. This was and I think I said this in the last video. I was gonna make 1 million in 12 months, and I can't remember. I think I mapped out a strategy. I didn't just say it. I did map out a strategy that I was gonna sell this and that. I was gonna sell this. Just one person, audience of 100. Anyway, so those were the realities that time. But mindset wise, why was I doing that? In my head, I was like, well, why am I doing this? Because when my mom was kicking against it, like, be very careful, what's all this? Like, there's the law of process. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. Like, we can manifest this thing. It's a story for another day. I almost went into that thing. We can manifest this thing. And then I was like, okay, what is the story here? The story here is that the mindset was off. I was doing this thing because I wanted to, big houses, money to buy designers. Although I'll tell you that I'm not loud, but obviously, I mean, I would like to take care of myself, and then to fly first class tickets, just, provide for my family and all of that. And I think I touched briefly on this in the last video. And what I have to say to this is that that mindset was wrong. I mean, there is much more. We're talking. So, if you're here and you're like, I mean, but yeah, it's good to have it. Yes, it's good to have it. And that's not the reason why I'm documenting this journey. I'm documenting this journey for people who understand that wealth is much more, or who don't understand but are willing to learn that growing wealth, building wealth, changing your legacy, wanting to change the generational pattern. It's not necessarily for us to be able to buy the latest designer bags. It's not for us to be able to live in massive houses. It's not for us to be able to drive that G-Wagon. Yes, that's my dream car. It's not for us to be able to do all of those things. But don't get me wrong, and I will always say this, those things are non-negotiables. They have to come, because the more you become, the more you work on yourself, you transform yourself, and then you build your wealth. Those things just come naturally. There's more to that. If that's the reason why we want to create wealth and build wealth for ourselves, you don't need to be wealthy to do that. You just need to be in a very good job. You don't need the purpose. You don't need, I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying. It's like, so that was the realization I had, that listen, it's more about how can I know we throw this word impact around, but I don't know the best way to explain it. Okay, purpose. There are destinies, there are people that are linked to. As believers, let's best believe that there are people that are linked to you. There are destinies that are linked to you. There are people's school fees that you need to pay. There are people's, developments that you need to sponsor. There are people you need to mentor. There are people that are linked to you. And for every time you sit down and you're just working in a job, which I don't think there's a problem working in a job. You're just working in a job so that you can pay the bills, you can save up for the latest designers, you can do this, you can do that. Then those people are waiting on you. But the good news is God will not allow them to miss their way because they're waiting on you. But that's your assignment, right? That's your assignment. So there are a lot of things that we do with money. Money is a tool and it gives you options. It's not just for the G-Wagon and that big house, although those things are a non-negotiable. That's all I'm trying to say, or that's what I'm trying to explain, right? I don't know why I'm over explaining this thing, but that was my old money story. It was only until recently, because when I even shut down the business, I'm like, why am I shutting down this business? This business has the best potential. But yeah, the mindset for starting it was wrong. And so I began the journey of reframing that story, because those things would come. It's just the journey I'm on and the journey you embark on as you become, those things have to come. I don't worry about them anymore, right? But if we do all of this just for that, you get up there and you're empty. That is just it. You get up there and you're empty. There has to be more. So the shift came when I realized that these things are just a resultant effect of wealth. So it is the effect of wealth, it is not the purpose of wealth. So in a nutshell, what does this mean? Money gives you options, right? I still believe that praying to God in a massive house, where you have your own private altar prayer area, is different. It hits different, right? So yes, that big house is there, but it's about the impact that we can make. It's about how we can use our wealth to spread the gospel. If you're a kingdom financier, that's an assignment. That's like your spiritual assignment. If you're your kingdom financier, you finance the spread of the gospel. You finance the kingdom. So it's much more than the house. I'm trying to say this in the best way possible so that you don't come up or people don't think that I'm trying to promote a scarcity mindset. I am trying to say that these things are a resultant effect, they have to happen, but we need to find the purpose for that wealth. So I have found the purpose for mine. The question I have for you if you're watching this is, have you found the purpose for it? What is the old money story that you have? Let's reframe it, right? If God is calling you to wealth, what is the purpose of that? Because there is an assignment or there is a reason. God is not just doing things for the purpose of vibes and all of that. There is a reason. And what is that assignment? What is that thing that is set out to do? And that's where your impact and your assignment, your kingdom assignment lies. And I mean, you would be amazed at what would change mentally, transformationally, before the wealth even starts coming. And wealth is not just about money anyway, but we know that. But let's talk about the money aspect because it's important. And we know that the kingdom needs kingdom financiers. So what are we doing? What are you doing? That was like the shift for me. And it did a lot. It did a lot for me, and I want it to do a lot for you. So when I say it did a lot for me, it set me on a path of, okay, obedience. What is it that I need to do? How am I going to do it? And by the way, I'm going to talk about this, like later on. But let me just say that when we talk about growing or building wealth, when we talk about becoming kingdom financiers, entrepreneurship is one of the ways, right? If it's not in your blood, it's not in your blood. There are some people that are not just wired, well, maybe not permanently. At the moment, they're not wired to become entrepreneurs. They want to work. You can build wealth while in a job. This means that I am becoming the person who believes that abundance is there to be stewarded, right, and not to be mismanaged. Because when you become that person on your journey, you would understand that the people that have been able to build wealth did not mismanage it. Those are some of the identity shifts. Like, how did they do it? They built assets, and I mean, this is just for the mindset part, the reframing part. I can create other videos when we now get into that nitty gritty of, okay, we have become who we need to become, or we're on that journey of becoming. What do I do? Right? But it's just understanding that it needs to be stewarded, and I think that's a way to, to kind of explain all I've been rambling about. I realized that my old money beliefs was not working. It was not going to take me anywhere. And so if you are also realizing that and ready, saying, oh, this is not going to take me anywhere. I've tried it. I think another conversation I was having with my mom yesterday, and I was like, we need to come to the end of ourselves, because over time we have realized that we got here making some financial decisions thinking this is it, this is the one that is going to get us freedom of time, this is the one that is going to give us money, make us become rich, and it did not, right? And so we now come to the point where we realize that it's not by our power, it's not by our might, right? It's by the Spirit of God, the hidden wisdom of God. And so we get to that point where we say, God, I have come to the end of myself, take over. That's that song, so take over. Anyway, so I'm just saying, if this resonated with you, know that you're in the right place. We're going to be talking lots and lots of, abundance, or the wealth mindset and the mindset shifts that you need to make. I would make a book recommendation on my next video or at some point. I don't know what it is, but it's coming to my head, and I think I'll maybe just make a separate video about a book that I'm reading about wealth, kingdom wealth, that has really changed my mind. I haven't finished reading it yet, and I don't know why I'm talking about this, because when I started reading it, I was like, this thing is just piercing my soul. It's just making me realize that I've got so much work to do, and I just left it. My heart couldn't take it, but yeah, I'm going to go back to it, and then I would recommend the book to you all. This is the end of the video for today. Let me know what your takeaways were, but subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed, so that you will get notified when I post new videos. Let me know in the comment section, what money beliefs are you actively unlearning right now? Let's talk about it. I'll see you there in the comment section. Take care. Bye.